Hello everybody, welcome or welcome back to a new video. So today I thought I would do a sort of roundup book haul from Christmas and my birthday because I did get a lot of books. If you watched my last video or one of my last videos, I was having a little bit of a declutter, getting rid of some books that I already have, unhauling some to make room for the amount of books that I got for Christmas and my birthday. I'm gonna do the ones that I got for Christmas first and then we'll move on to the ones that I got for my birthday just because I didn't get as many. But there's a lot here, I have a lot. I was so spoiled. Also, just a mini disclaimer, I've woke up with this huge bump on my face. The amount of makeup that I've put over it and it's still not covered, and the more that I try to cover it, the more that it doesn't want to be covered. So let's please ignore this. It is really ruining my vibe, but I'm trying to just breathe through it and not cry. So let's get into the books that I have got. First book haul of 2025. So if you follow me on Instagram, then you probably will have seen this already. But starting with the Christmas books, my boyfriend actually got me this sort of like bookshelf. He did this in 2023 and then obviously 2024 too. So he basically just made this box and filled it with books. They were all like individually wrapped. So it kind of looks like a little bookshelf, but let's just go through them. I actually might section them out so we have like romance, fantasy, whatever, just so that it makes a little bit more sense, because honestly I got so many and I'm so spoiled and so thankful, but I'm a little bit overwhelmed too. Okay, so I have sectioned them out as best as I can for now. Let's start with romance because they're the ones that I have the most of course. I think the majority of these are from Will. I think there was only a couple that I got for Christmas that weren't from him, to be honest. But he got me Train in the Heart by Paisley Hope. This is the second book in the... I'm not actually sure what the series is called, but this one follows on from Holding the Reins. It's a cowboy romance. I love a cowboy romance. I think this one follows the brother that we saw in the first book, like the brother of the female main character from the first book, and like a horse trainer or something. We kind of see her again introduced in the first book, but I am excited to get to this one. Then we have You Again by Kate Goldbeck. Honestly, this one has been on my TBR for so long, but I don't actually know what it's about, apart from the fact that the cover looks so autumnal, and it does say on the front that it's sort of like a reimagining of When Harry Met Sally, which I love. That is one of my favourite movies. So it's friends to lovers, and I don't know, like it just gives cozy autumn vibes. And I'm like, now I'm gonna have to wait till next autumn to read this one. Then he got me the Happy Ever After playlist by Abby Jimenez. Abby Jimenez has like quickly became one of my favourite authors, but I've not read that many other books. Like I've read Yours Truly, Part of Your World and Just for the Summer. That's it, but I have loved every single one of them. But I kind of wanted to delve into her backlist and read a few of her old books. So he did pick a few off my Amazon wishlist, so I'm excited to get to this one. I also, from my Secret Santa at work, I got Life's Too Short, also by Abby Jimenez. So again, I actually know nothing about either of these books. I don't know if these ones kind of follow on from each other in the same way that the Part of Your World, Yours Truly, Just for the Summer kind of ones do. Like if they have interconnecting characters, I'm not entirely sure. But either way, I'm excited to delve into some more of her older books. I completely forgot to mention this one. So I also got The Friend Zone. Again, I don't know if this one sort of connects with those other two or if maybe like two of them are connected. And yet again, I know absolutely nothing about this book, but I'm hoping that I will love them as much as I've loved her more recent ones as well. I know that these ones aren't as popular, but I'm hoping that I will still enjoy them. Then he also got me Nothing Like the Movies by Lynn Painter. So this is the sequel, the follow-on, the second book from Better Than the Movies. This one follows Liz and Wes, but when they go to college. I have actually heard pretty negative things about this one. Like a lot of people didn't love it and thought that it was a little bit of a letdown from the first book, from what I've gathered. But I still do want to give it a read. It is a YA romance, so I do feel like I'm kind of aging out of them a little bit. I much prefer YA fantasy to YA romance, but we'll still give it a go anyways. Then he got me the Pumpkin Spice Cafe and the Cinnamon Bun Bookstore by Laurie Gilmore. So these are very cozy, very sort of autumnal, wintry reads, or at least that's what I'm assuming, because the covers just, they're stunning honestly, and they look so cozy. I have actually read The Christmas Tree Farm. I listened to the audiobook of that one, which I know I've kind of done it backwards, but I'm excited to get to these ones. Hopefully I will love them. Then he got me Love on the Brain by Ali Hazelwood. I think this is actually the only Ali Hazelwood book that I don't have, maybe? Or like from her most popular ones anyway. I actually don't know about her like backlists and stuff, but I think this is one of her only books that's like big, or her most popular books that I don't have. This sort of science-y series is not my favourite of hers. My favourite books from her are Bride and the little Christmas novella that she did. I have read Love on the Brain. No, I haven't. I've read The Love Hypothesis and Love Theoretically, and I didn't love either of those. Much prefer Bride. Like, Bride is my favourite book of hers. I just don't know if she is the author for me, but I still do want to read this, give it a chance, and see if maybe this one is my favourite, like out of that sort of world universe series, whatever you want to call it. Then he got me Hello Stranger by Catherine Center. The only other book that I've read from her is The Bodyguard, which I did enjoy. It was a very cutesy, easy to read rom-com. And I think this is very similar vibes to that, like very easy to read, easy to jump into, maybe. But yeah, obviously guys, I do not know a lot about these books, so I do apologise if that's really annoying. But there were ones that were either like on my wish list or that I had mentioned, so I know literally nothing about any of them apart from what I have heard obviously other people say. This is making me realise how many books I have actually got and how much space I need to find in my bedroom to store them all. It's just not going to be possible. Then he got me Lost and Lassoed by Lila Sage. So this is number 3 in the Rebel Blue Ranch series. I'm really excited to read this one actually. I'm surprised it's took me as long as it has to get round to reading this book, because I have been waiting for this one since like the first book. This follows Teddy and Gus. So Gus is the sibling that we follow their family. Teddy is the best friend of the female main character in the first book, but I have just loved this series. I find it really easy to read. I really enjoy the sort of like found family ranch setting, and these covers are just stunning. Then he got me the Magnolia Parks The Long Way Home in the new cover. If you don't know, this series is one of my all-time favourite series, but I had just never been able to find this cover whenever I'd like gone into the works or whatever. So it was on my Amazon wishlist and he kindly picked it up for me. So now I have the whole series of the indie covers, which were the books that I originally read, and I have sort of like collected the new covers too. Love this series forever, could talk about it so much, literally do talk about it all the time, but I'm just glad that I now have like the full selection of them all. Then my mum got me Daydream by Hannah Grace. So this is the 3rd book in the Maple Hills sort of series. It follows on from Icebreaker and Wildfire. This one I've heard conflicting things on. So for me personally, I enjoyed Icebreaker, didn't love Wildfire, and this one I feel like I'm really going to enjoy, because I feel like I will be quite seen in both of these characters, or at least one of them maybe, I don't know. But I have heard that people said that they were maybe a little bit disappointed by this one. The series as a whole is not like my favourite. It's not one that I constantly think about or would always recommend, but it has been easy to read for me and like a good time, I suppose. Then the last book that I have in my little romance section is Sweet Love and Country Roads. So my nail lady kindly gave me this one for Christmas. She knows that I love a cowboy romance, and she said that she read this one and loved it, so I'm really excited to get to this one. Just before we hop on to the fantasy books, so for Christmas, Will also got me The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager. This one again has been one that has been on my TBR for so long. I am really looking for a thriller that will shock me and grip me, and I will just be left almost feeling like actually scared, because I feel like I've never experienced that when reading a thriller, and I really want that. So I'm hoping that maybe this one will do that for me. Then the only literary fiction book that I got, I think, was The Great Alone by Kristen Hanna. My Kristen Hanna collection is just growing and growing and growing, and I have yet to read any of her books. So I'm really hoping that I do enjoy her as an author, because I now do have quite a lot of her books. But I've just heard such good things about her writing as a whole, and about this book along with like some of her others. I have no idea what it's about, but again, I feel like her book's meant to be like quite emotional, quite moving, and I've just heard such good things, so I'm really excited to dive into a few of them. Okay, so going on to the fantasy books. Again, we're going back to ones that Will bought me. So he got me the Caraval series trilogy by Stephanie Garber. So we have Legendary, Caraval and Finale. I'm guessing they are the order that they're going. I don't know. I read Once Upon a Broken Heart and I did really enjoy it. It gave very much like fairy tale fantasy, cozy fantasy kind of vibes. It wasn't my favourite, but I did enjoy it, and this series again has been on my TBR for so long, and I've heard such good things about this. I know that people love this series, so I am excited to get into it. I've really been in my fantasy era recently, so I'm excited to read a few more fantasy books. Then he also got me the Poppy War trilogy. So we have the Poppy War, the Burning God and the Dragon Republic. I am guessing that these are fantasy. I think that they are, but I think that they sort of centre around a war. And I do think that these are quite heavy, like quite heavy topics. I believe they talk about war and genocide and all the things that come with that. So they are quite intense, I believe, but with like a fantasy element to them. We actually found these in a charity shop. So we got all three of these books, like obviously in the trilogy, for £2. Bargain. Then he got me the Wicked book. So I have actually never read the book. I love the like theatre production, and obviously when I went to go and see the movie, I love that too, and I obviously know what happens in it, but I do want to read the book before like part 2 of the movie comes out. So I am really excited to read this and to sort of see how it differs from the stage production and also the movie too. Then he got me Iron Flame. So I haven't read this yet, but I do have the hardback. But I picked up the paperback of Fourth Wing to get rid of my hardback, and I also wanted the paperback of Iron Flame just because I think it might be easier to read, or I did think that until I saw the size of it. But yeah, so we've got that one there now too. I am determined to read this year, because I know obviously Onyx Storm's coming out soon, and I don't think I'm going to pick that one up like immediately, obviously because I haven't read this, and it's not like on my priority TBR, but it is one that I definitely do want to get to this year at some point. Then he got me Fairbound. This is one that I did pick myself when we were in the works. He bought this one for me. I have no idea what this is about. Honestly, I picked it because I think the cover is just gorgeous. I don't even think that I've heard anybody talk about this. So I'm not going to read the back too much because I am enjoying going into books blind, but I just assumed that it was fantasy and obviously like maybe about fairies and fae. So excited to give that one a go. Then the final book that he got me is The Serpent and the Wings of Night. Again, I know nothing about this. I just know that I've heard so many good things about this. It actually says it's about humans and vampires, which I did not know. I kind of assumed that it was going to be along the sort of like fairy fae kind of lines, just because that is what I feel like I have read a lot of. But anyway, I'm excited to get to this one. I've heard such good things about it. Enemies to lovers, dark romantasy, sign me up. And then the last one that I got, which was another gift from my nail lady, is Filthy Rich Vampires, so another vampire romance. I have seen this one all the time in the works. Every time I go in, I'm like, I need to pick that up, I need to get it. One of the girls that works in the works actually told me that she loved this. So I am excited to get to this. It is a series, so hopefully if I enjoy this one, then I'll be able to pick up the next two in the series too. Okay, so going on to the stuff that I got for my birthday. I did treat myself to a few books from Waterstones just because I got some vouchers for Christmas. So I thought I would give myself a little birthday treat. And then I also got some from my Amazon wish list. Very kind, but let's just go through them. So one of my friends kindly got me the, what is this series called? The Prison Healer series, Prison Healer trilogy. So we have the Prison Healer, the Blood Traitor, and the Gilded Cage. I think that is the right order. I've heard such good things about this. I think Sarah Crowley loved these, or she definitely like recommended them. I remember watching her read them in a reading vlog. But I'm excited to get to these. I don't know if they are like YA fantasy, but either way, love them. The covers are gorge, and like I said, I am very much in my fantasy era, so I'm very excited to give these ones a go. Then from the girls at work, they got me A Curse of True Love. As I said earlier, I have already read this series, but I read them on my Kindle, so I don't have the physical books, and this is the last one and the last one that I needed to like complete my collection of the paperbacks. Even though they weren't my favourite, I just think these covers are gorgeous. Like, they are just stunning, and I did really enjoy the series anyway, so I did want them to keep on my shelf. And then Marty, who is at Consistently Reads on Instagram, I'm sure you guys know him, I love him so much. He kindly sent me Savour It by Tara Jewett. I think I've only read one of her books before, but this one, I remember when it came out recently, seeing so many 5-star reviews of this one. Like, people loved it. So I'm really excited to get into this one too. And then we just have the ones that I ordered from Waterstones. I actually can't remember what I got because I ordered them that long ago. So let's open this. Okay, so there was 4 in there, but I actually thought that I ordered 5. So need to go and check my email. But anyway, I picked up 2 books from Annabelle Monaghan. So I read Summer Romance last summer and I absolutely loved it. Like, she quickly became one of my, I wouldn't say favourite authors, but one of the authors that I wanted to go and read more of her books like immediately. So I picked up Nora Goes Off Script and Same Time Next Summer. I do think she has another one coming out this summer too, so I do want to read these before then. I just think the way that she wrote sort of like her characters and the sort of like, it felt more like women's fiction than a romance, and obviously I don't know what these ones will be like, but I hope that they will be the same. Then I picked up Things We Leave Unfinished. So this is by Rebecca Yarros, which is the author of Fourth Wing, but obviously this is a romance. And I believe that this is really sad. Like, I feel like when people have spoke about this, it's quite emotional. I don't know, but I'm just excited to read this and sort of see how her writing style like differs from when she's writing a fantasy book. And then the last book that we have, guys, is The Unmaking of June Farrow by Adrienne Young. Is this the author of The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue? I don't think it is, but for some reason this gives me very similar vibes. I don't know if the story's not the same, but I feel like they might have like similar sort of themes, because I don't know what is making me think that this is similar to that book. Again, I know absolutely nothing about this one, but I'm gonna guess, is it fantasy or is it like some kind of fiction? That's literally what fantasy is, but anyway, I don't know. I am really excited to get to this one, and again, this cover is just beautiful. But guys, they are all of the books that I have got for Christmas and my birthday. I do actually have more vouchers to go and buy more books with, but I might have to hold off until I've read a few of these because my physical TBR is now officially out of control. I don't even know how many books there are here, but I'm gonna guess like well over 30, which is insane that I've now got to find space for 30 books in my teeny tiny little room. But at least it means more reading content, more bookish content, so I hope you do enjoy that. Let me know if you have read any of these books, which ones you loved, if there are any that you want to see like specific reading vlogs with, let a girl know. But thank you so much for watching. Pray for my physical TBR, and please do not let me buy any more books. On my Goodreads and my Instagram, if you do want to see what I'm reading, what I think of any of these books, I am much more active over there. But thanks for watching, and hopefully I will see you in the next one. Bye guys!